guys, it's Olivia. I just wanted to say that I've been busy this past couple of weeks, so I haven't been able to make a YouTube video, but now I have time. And tonight is going to be a special topic. It's going to be about my adoption. If you guys know me, or if you guys don't, I am adopted from Romania. I was adopted when I was 4 years old. And by the way, Romania is in Europe. Look it up. It's on the map. A lot of people think it's not. And I'm like, I was born there. So, some of the things that people have asked me in years has made me want to make a YouTube video and talk about it because you guys have always been so curious. And I'll tell you this, there is not enough time in the world to not be talking about being adopted. There's just a wide range of information about being adopted because it's a whole experience. And it's literally a whole lifetime experience because you have this forever. So, to, start, one of the questions that people have asked me is literally, what's it like being adopted? I've known a lot of kids who are adopted, including myself, and I've, in years, have asked them what it's like to be adopted. And I've always been curious, and I've always wondered what they would respond to, and they've always responded to saying, oh, it's shit. I hate it. I hate being adopted. I wish I knew my parents. It's a cycle. And for me, when they have asked me, I'm like, yeah, it stinks that I don't know my birth family, but I also have my family, my real family. And people are like, huh? So now I'm going to explain to you what the difference between a real family and just a birth family. A birth family is literally they just give birth to you. In my situation, I was not able to have contact with my birth family, or they didn't want it. It's called a closed adoption, where there's pretty much like no information that is going between families. But for me, though, I had no information about my birth family or anything like that, and for my adopted family, I know everything about them because I've had years of life with them. And I guess people who have been adopted, I guess their thought about what I said kind of changed their perspective on their adoption because they're like, oh yeah, that's so true. Like, I guess we really technically only have one family. So yeah, definitely I have thought, I'll say this, I definitely thought that I had two families when I was little. I definitely thought. It's just that I just never saw my birth family. But then my dad said to me, which kind of sparked me a little bit, and it made me wonder, and it made me wonder for like years. And what he said is that your real family is the one that loves and supports you and will stick together with you through anything. And I don't know, for me though, I still kept wanting the two families, and I'm not sure why, if that made sense, but I still always wanted to think that I still had like this family that, was gonna come back to me. And obviously they haven't, which is fine. But then now that I think of what my dad had told me, is that yeah, I guess I do only have one family, because if I look at it, my real family, or my birth family, didn't even give me any information about them, really. There is maybe some legal stuff that like they had to put on the papers, but like they didn't like want to give information about them. For my adopted family, they tell me everything. Every single day they tell me something. So I'm just like, yeah, I guess I do have one family, and guess I'm very lucky to have that one family. Another thing that people have asked me, which kind of comes in handy to what I was just talking about, is what's it like not knowing who my real parents are? I remember one of my friends from a long time ago asked me this, and her dad had passed away when she was, I think, like 7, and I remember we were at her house, and I had stayed over, and she asked me. Now this was like when we were younger, so obviously our questions were obviously a lot immature, I guess. But her question was literally, how do you live life without knowing your real parents? And mine question to her was, well, how do you live life when your dad passed away? And she's like, I don't know, I just do. She's like, but how? And then she just, quickly asked me again, like, how do I live life without knowing my parents? It's easy. Because I have no resemblance, I have no thought of them literally in my mind. Like, I can't even picture an image in my mind of who these people are. I think, though, if I did, or if I had a letter, or a little more information, I think I would have a little more difficulty. But because I have nothing really from them, I can't pinpoint any fantasy that could come into my head. And I guess that's how I've learned to live life, not knowing my parents. And then a lot of people have asked me then, do I want to know my birth parents? And when I was little, I really, really wanted to know who my mom was. Not really my dad, and I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure why I never really wanted to know my dad. But I really, really wanted to know who my birth mom was. And my mom now has asked me, like, why did I want to know who she was? And I wanted to know what she looked like, and I wanted to know, I wanted to see something that, like, I wanted to see the bigger me, if that makes sense. My mom's like, well, honey, you and I look alike. You and I have similar personalities. And I'm like, no, we don't. I mean, like, we have similar stuff that, like, we do or say, but that's because that's environmental. Or that just happened because I've lived with her for several years. Not because I'm, like, her birth child. And I know this because I told my mom this, where I've always wanted to have this special connection or a special resemblance or something to my birth mom. And I told my mom this, that her and my sister and my brother, when they smile, they literally have a twinkle in their eye. And not that I've ever been jealous or anything, never, ever. I think it's kind of cool. I really actually like it when, like, all of them are all together and, like, literally 1, 2, it's like fireworks going off. Like, it's kind of cool. And, or like twins are amazing to me. Like, I'm just like, like, it's so cool. But seeing the resemblance and seeing the similarities, it blows my mind, because for me, I will never be able to have that. So that is something, though, that I obviously have to live without, but that I've always wanted to have. Is something that I could have a special spark. And then, I guess lastly, I guess my advice would be that you guys who are out there that are adopted, you guys should be proud of being adopted. Being adopted is nothing to be ashamed about. It is probably the coolest experience I will ever have in my life, even though I didn't get to know my real birth parents. I still have an amazing family, and the Colbeck family, the Gutierrez family, the Hammett family, everybody. You guys have been amazing to me, and I literally am a really, really lucky person, because there were so many kids there in Romania, and you guys chose me. So I am proud to be adopted, and I am proud to be your kid. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and stay tuned for next week. Not sure what the topic is going to be, but if you guys have suggestions, put them down below. If so, see you next week. Bye.